The nature of the relationship then of a disfellowshipped person is not completely shunned. Normal family relations continue with the exception of spiritual fellowship. Normal family relations continue. Normal family relations continue.
Normal family relations continue? WTF? Everything has changed. We don't have to shun our family anymore if they're disfellowshipped. Chill. Slow down. That's not true at all. This clip has made a resurgence recently with some popularity. It's from 2017, November of 2017. It's the Supreme Court of Canada. There's a hearing, and the guy who's speaking in this clip is both an elder and a lawyer for Watchtower. And he's saying what is technically true, but actually isn't true at all. And I'm going to explain to you why that is. Now, anyone who knows anything about Jehovah's Witnesses knows that they shun people who are disfellowshipped, and that includes family members. The October 2017 Watchtower, page 12 to 16 in the article, "The Truth Brings Not Peace But a Sword," states, "Despite our pain of heart, we must avoid normal contact with a disfellowshipped family member by telephone, text messages, letters, emails, or social media." So are disfellowshipped family members maintaining normal family relations? Well, not according to the Watchtower, they're not. They're not supposed to talk to them through any means. And this is my computer over here. It says not by telephone, text messages, letters, emails, or social media. That doesn't sound like normal family relations to me. But maybe that was just old light. Maybe there's new light, and now they can talk to their disfellowshipped family members. Hang on, not so fast. Let's look at another one. In the September 2021 study edition of the Watchtower, study article 39 entitled, "When a Loved One Leaves Jehovah," paragraph 12, it says, "By supporting the elder's decision to disfellowship your loved one, you may actually help him return to Jehovah." Quote, "Severing family association with our adult son was extremely difficult," admits Elizabeth, quoted earlier. Wait a minute. Severing family association with our adult son? That doesn't sound like normal family relations, does it? Normal family relations aren't continuing if you have severed all relations with your adult son because he was disfellowshipped. But the paragraph continues. "Much later, our son told me that he wanted to come back in part because we did exactly what we had to do. I'm so glad Jehovah helped us to be obedient." Wait a minute. What exactly did you have to do? What were you being obedient to? I thought normal family relations continued. No, they don't. They really don't. Let's look at the technicalities here. Technically, what the elder was saying was not a lie. Technically. Let's look at what it says in the Shepherd the Flock of God book, which is the elder's handbook about how to deal with family members that have been disfellowshipped. And it starts off talking about non-relatives under unnecessary association with disfellowshipped or disassociated individuals. It says willful, continued, unnecessary association with disfellowshipped or disassociated non-relatives, despite repeated counsel, would warrant judicial action. But it does make an exception for family in the next paragraph. It says if a publisher in the congregation is known to have unnecessary association with disfellowshipped or dissociated relatives who are not in the household, elders should use the scriptures to counsel and reason with him. Review with him from the Remain in God's Love book, page 241. If it is clear that a Christian is violating the spirit of the disfellowshipping decree in this regard and does not respond to counsel, he would not qualify for congregation privileges, which require one to be exemplary. He would not be dealt with judicially unless there is persistent spiritual association or he persists in openly criticizing the disfellowshipping decision. Now, at first, that might sound like loophole. You can maintain normal family relations if you have a disfellowship member in your family, and there's nothing the elders can do about it because they cannot bring you up on any kind of judicial charges or do anything against you at all, except if you know how the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses works you know that what it says in that paragraph means a lot. It does not mean normal family relations continue at all. Let's look at it again. What does it say would happen to the person who chooses to willfully associate with a disfellowshipped family member who no longer lives in the home? If it is clear that a Christian is violating the spirit of the disfellowshipping decree in this regard and does not respond to counsel, he would not qualify for congregation privileges, which require one to be exemplary. Now, if you were one of Jehovah's Witnesses, like me, for a very long time, you know what that means. If someone does not qualify for congregation privileges, if they are not exemplary, what does that mean? That means they are spiritually weak. And if they are spiritually weak, and if they are violating the spirit of the disfellowshipping arrangement, should you, as a strong Christian, associate with someone who is spiritually weak? I think we're all seeing the answer here. The answer is no, you do not. You do not hang out with, you do not invite to your house, you do not share meals with, you do not generally associate with someone who is willfully violating what the governing body has called the spirit of the disfellowshipping arrangement. So while technically they will not bring you up on any kind of judicial charges, so to speak, like you can't be disfellowshipped, you cannot be in any way publicly reprimanded for associating with your disfellowshipped relative, you will be labeled spiritually weak. You will not be exemplary. You will not qualify for privileges. And do you think it's just possible that the elders who tried to correct your thinking and couldn't on this matter are going to inform other people in the congregation that you are no longer good association because you are clearly violating willfully the directives of the governing body as stated in the Shepherd the Flock of God book? Yes, they absolutely will. I promise you they will. I have seen this happen so many times in my 40 years as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. People will be informed that you're spiritually weak. They will start to draw away from you. You will find that suddenly those phone calls inviting you over to the gatherings, because witnesses don't like the word party, gatherings, plus they're not really parties anyway, they're kind of boring AF, you know what I mean? But there is alcohol, and witnesses like to drink. They will stop associating with you. They will stop inviting you out in service. That's not such a bad thing. But they will stop associating with you and socializing with you. And then we will have what we call in the EXJW world, soft shunning. Now, you are not technically being reprimanded. You are not disfellowshipped. You have not been reproved publicly, but everybody knows you're spiritually weak. So, was the lawyer elder lying when he told the Supreme Court of Canada
normal family relations continue?
Technically, he can claim he is not, because according to the Elder's Handbook, they can continue if you are willing to violate the spirit of the disfellowshipping arrangement. But should normal family relations continue? Absolutely not. So was the elder lying? Yes, he was. And the reason why is because the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses is sometimes very different from the letter of the law. Now the question comes up, why would he lie? Why would he say that normal family relations continue when the Watchtower very clearly shows that normal family relations should not continue when someone is disfellowshipped? And the Shepherd of the Flock of God book says that if you continue to associate despite counsel from the elders, you are spiritually weak and do not qualify for privileges, which, as we all know who used to be witnesses, will result in you being soft shunned as people start to draw away from you and no longer associate with you because you are now bad association because you're not obeying the governing body and the elders and their directives. Why would he do that? It doesn't make a lot of sense until you realize that the act of shunning family, even though it's not illegal in almost any country, most countries that value freedom allow freedom of religion to practice shunning, even though they don't like it, because it's a slippery slope. If they tell a religion you cannot shun, how do you prove that shunning is not an individual choice, but just a coercion from the religion onto its members? It's very difficult to prove, and it's a slippery slope. So most countries that value freedom of religion, they just step back from that and they're like, we're not going to tell people they can't shun, even if we think it's a really crummy thing to do. But everyone knows it's a really crummy thing to do. It's a terrible, horrific way to treat your family. So if this lawyer in Canada admitted openly, yeah, that's absolutely true, we tell people they should have nothing to do with their family once they're disfellowshipped, how does that make the Watchtower and Jehovah's Witnesses look in the eyes of the law and of all the people who watched that and of all the media who watched that and reported on it? It makes them look really, really bad. So in the Elder's Handbook, Shepherd the Flock of God, they put that as a caveat, as a technicality, so that any elder who's called to testify or speak about the disfellowshipping arrangement of Jehovah's Witnesses can technically not be lying when they say family members do not have to shun disfellowship family members. Now, we know that's actually not true. Yes, they don't have to, but they are coerced into doing so. Otherwise, they will be soft shunned, even if not technically shunned, by being disfellowshipped or reproved. So there's a huge cultural, social pressure on the family members to shun completely as they were instructed, as we saw in the Watchtower of 2017 and 2021. They are instructed to shun. They are. But they don't have to. But if they don't, they're going to face repercussions for that. So, yes, technically, you do not have to shun your Jehovah's Witness family members who are disfellowshipped or disassociate, but you damn well better if you want to maintain your social connection to the people in the congregations. That is what I think. What do you think? In your experience as being one of Jehovah's Witnesses, do you think you could actually get away with not shunning your family members with no repercussions at all? Let me know what you think in the comments. Talk soon.